Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsey Smith here with Espo and Saul Bookman. And guys, we've got the Trailblazers again tonight. Thankfully, this will be the last time for a while because this one is getting a little tired. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it's not the last one for a while. It's the last one forever. Like, they don't play the Trailblazers anymore this season, so that's fun.
Until the Western Conference Finals.
So for a while now. But even though we have the Blazers again tonight, unfortunately, we do have to start this show with some bad news, y'all. Obviously, we saw Cam Johnson go down about 5 minutes into last night's game. And what we're hearing now from a tweet from Shams Charania is that the Phoenix Suns fear that forward Cam Johnson has suffered a torn meniscus in his right knee. Sources say testing so far indicates the meniscus injury, and Johnson is receiving further evaluation and imaging. This sucks.
I mean, it's kind of what I expected, though, because last night it was a non-contact thing, right? So that usually means one of two things, an MCL tear or an ACL tear. MCL is obviously the better of the two. So now we're sitting here and there's two options. He can do a procedure, what they call a snip, which means they basically just cut the MCL, and that can take 2 to 6, maybe 3 to 6 weeks from my understanding to heal. That's what Eric Bledsoe did back in the day with the Suns. Or he can elect to have a repair surgery, and what happens there is it's months long. It's usually 6 months. So we're talking April before he'd likely come back at that point. So there's a lot of questions, because if you get the snip, that can actually lessen your career in some cases, because now you don't have the MCL. So I feel for Cam. He bet on himself, and right now that isn't looking like a great bet, to be quite honest.
Is it an MCL or is it a meniscus? Which one is it?
It's a meniscus.
It's a meniscus, excuse me.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I didn't hear MCL.
I meant meniscus, excuse me,
okay.
not MCL.
I was like,
see, that's why I didn't go to medical school. So a meniscus.
A huge curveball. I was like, shit, did I miss that note? Holy shit!
No.
I don't even know what to say right now. No, I mean, listen. Again, everything is working against Cam right now. Like, again, I don't even know if it's necessarily that he bet on himself, because he's a good player. He just can't stay healthy, and that's the problem. And the Suns are listen, right now you got to look at the Suns and say they made the right call by not giving him a $80, $90, $100 million contract, because they were fearful of this exact thing happening. Listen, guys, we've been watching these games for 8 games, and it seems like every other game, Cam has been banged up, or he's gotten dinged up somehow, some way, and now we're looking at a guy that has got a torn meniscus and is going to have to miss several weeks again, like he has the last couple seasons at periods of time. And it's really unfortunate, because, listen, the first thing I want to say is I think Cam Johnson as an individual is one of the coolest, nicest people we could ever come across. I need to make sure that everybody out there understands that. But there's a difference between really nice and cool and fun guy to be around and what you're doing on the court. And the problem right now is that Cam Johnson is just not on the court consistent enough to really reap the benefits of a huge contract. And the Suns were right by not giving him a crazy contract, because he just isn't on the court enough to validate it.
Jay in the chat asked if it was the same knee that he injured. He had the same thing happen in college. That was his left knee. I just looked it up. So now he's got both knees that have issues. But yeah, so his left knee in college, right knee currently is the problem for Cam. And I get exactly what you're saying, Saul, and it sucks that we have to actually say that, like, because Cam is such a likable person. He's so easy to root for, because if you've ever met Cam, you walk away leaving like, damn, that guy's dope. Like, he's really cool. He's a really good person. And we all experience, even in like his media pressers, giving such thoughtful answers when he's asked any type of question from top to bottom. It sucks so much that he's going through this, especially in a time where it is so uncertain what his career trajectory kind of looks like from a money standpoint at the very least, right? He's in a contract year. This opens the door now for everyone to wonder, are the Suns even interested in keeping him long term if he goes the route of getting this meniscus repaired instead of snipped? Will the Suns just write him off and be like, sorry, good luck wherever else you land?
Well,
Or
but
are the
that's
Suns going to go try and get him on the cheap?
but that's the thing now. This all becomes a very interesting business decision, right? Cam's got to make a business decision for himself. Which route puts you in the better, uh, puts you in the better long term situation to earn that money to come back and play like he has. Is it that just saying, you know what, I love this team, but your championship aspirations aren't as important as my long term financial stability? And that's what's facing him right now. And I don't envy him. I don't envy the team having to try to push that because they've got to weigh both of those things right now. But what I do know is James Jones now is faced with you must make some kind of move. You must make some kind of decision to help fortify your lineup. Because you went from, well, we don't really have a backup power forward to now we don't really have a starting power forward. And you definitely don't have a backup power forward. So what do? I have my thoughts, but but we can get into that whenever you guys want. But right now, Torrey Craig starts tonight in that lineup as power forward, and I have no clue who plays in that second unit, or if they just have to wave the white flag and go small because that's the only option they have.
It's either that or it's Dario Saric, which at least you have a body to put in place, regardless of how you feel about his play. Obviously, he didn't play very well the other night, but at least he's available.
Yeah, but at long term, Torrey Craig, Ish Wainwright, Dario Saric, you're not winning a championship with those guys as your starter and then backup. You're just not.
No, listen, guys. I understand what we're saying here, and yes, James Jones has definitely got to make a move. Like, we were long past the point where James Jones has to make a move. Like I think the Suns have been lucky here in the early going by not only the level of play that they've received from Mikal and Cam, but the fact that they were both healthy. And now Cam's not healthy, which you should have expected at some point this season because he has never proven otherwise. And James Jones is going to have to make a move. I think in the short term, Torrey Craig is obviously going to be the guy that they're going to rely on. Dario might have spot minutes here and there, but it's going to be by committee. It's not going to be one specific individual. They might go small a couple times. We saw that a little bit last night. They might go big a couple times, and we saw that a little bit last night. So it's just going to be a fluid situation, and we'll see how it goes.
Look, Phoenix Suns 22 in the chat has hit on the two names that I think you need to be looking at. Carmelo Anthony should be your short-term stopgap. Go sign him, add him in. He's good buds with CP3. You know what you're going to get out of him. He's got the pedigree. Bring in Carmelo Anthony to start. Then you need to be looking at names like Harrison Barnes in Sacramento, where you find a guy that very much is low risk, high reward, where you can probably get him with the combination of a Dario and a Jay Crowder, right? I think you can get Harrison Barnes for that now. You may need to throw in a second or two, a second round pick or two. Go make that move. I think those two things keep you in championship contention. And if Cam Johnson comes back, you've now solidified your bench and taken a position of question and made it a potential position of strength.
Well, I think the other factor in all of this is that we already looked quote unquote desperate as far as getting rid of Jay because he's not even playing right now. So it's not like he's really an asset to this team in any capacity. Now we're even more desperate and other teams know that. So that opens the door for us getting finessed in a trade potentially, or just sitting around and waiting and hoping for something that is beneficial on both sides to come to fruition, but that puts you in a bad spot as well. I feel like this just kind of screwed everything over in so many ways.
I do want to reference, or I want to reply to Haydot's comment. Say, but will Sacramento even be willing to trade with us since we're in the same division? Listen, Sacramento knows that they're a shit team. Like, they don't care who they trade with. Because, listen, they're not competing for the Pacific Division Championship. They're not competing for a Western Conference Championship. So when you're a team in that position, you're just looking for assets to come in, to be able to parlay into other assets that will make you inevitably a playoff/championship contender. Right now, the Kings are nowhere near that. So they don't care who they trade with right now. It doesn't matter if they're the damn next door neighbor. If they were the Clippers trading with the Lakers, they wouldn't care if they were one of the bottom feeders in the NBA. They just need assets. That's what the Sacramento Kings need. The Suns can provide that to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for somebody, worthy of this lineup. And listen, the Suns' championship window obviously is dwindling, but they're still in it. And they need to make a move to stay in it right now, especially when you look at the performance of Chris Paul this season offensively in terms of scoring. They need an extra body to be able to help Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton, because Chris Paul ain't going to do it.
Okay, so then that opens the door for the question, like, how much, like, if we're docking points, right? We start at a 10 as far as championship contenders. If we're docking points, how many does this injury dock from us if we don't make a move sooner rather than later?
5.
Oh, shit.
I think it cuts it in half.
Okay.
Because now, like I said, you have no power forward whatsoever now. And you've just lost your biggest three-point shooting threat on a roster that can't afford to lose three-point shooting. So at this point, you've now mucked up the works like we talked about last night, because your spacing's all screwed up too. So all of a sudden, you've had multiple reasons. Now they can sag off instead of the 6 feet social distancing. They can take a full 12 and just not even be in the same zip code as Chris Paul when it comes to shooting three-pointers at this point. So this really is something that hurts. I don't think it takes them out of contention, but it makes it very clear James Jones better be working the phones.
I don't think it takes them down to a 5, personally. I think it takes them down to maybe a 7, because I don't really care about the power forward position in general. Like you look at a team like Portland, they don't really have a specific power forward. They have a lot of stretch wings and a lot of guys with length. That's what you need to supplement. But in terms of identifying one specific position, I don't think there's very few power forwards in the league right now. You got Al Horfords and stuff like that, but basically the NBA is a lot of positionless basketball once you get from 3, 4, actually 2, 3, and 4. So you need to find somebody that can be able to match up somewhat to those guys, and that's something that you are lacking at the moment.
I'll split the difference between you two. I'll go 6. I do think I get what you're saying, Saul, and I agree with you. But Espo, you do make really good points as far as like what we saw last night when Cam was out, and the just everything just being so clogged up. Like, we need shooters on this team, and without Cam, we only have maybe one reliable shooter.
Yeah, and look, so I love you, man, but they don't have those wings either. That's the problem. So when I say power forward, I just simply mean that's where he's slotted in the starting lineup, but you don't have those guys to fill in. Damian Lee is nice, but I don't want Damian Lee playing major minutes here to try to win a championship. Josh Okogie isn't your answer either. So now you're left with, you had one of the best starting 5s in the league, and that just took a giant hit.
So we do have a super chat from Psycho Blue. Psycho Blue, thank you for your super chat. Said Basketball Cthulhu woke up to seal hit to his seal newly reinforced. What is a seal? What is Cthulhu's seal? I don't know what that is. That's why I'm like, what does this mean?
Just read it. We don't ever know what these are, but we love them all the same. All right.
Basketball Cthulhu woke up to a seal newly reinforced. B-ball Baron Samity asked him why JC asked for a Cam J voodoo doll. I don't know who that is either. Psycho Blue, you're killing me with all of these things. You got to tell me what they are first and how to pronounce them.
You just gotta read it, Lindsey. Samadhi. Let's go.
Samadhi?
Samadhi.
Sorry.
Like, listen. Yeah. I don't know if Jay Crowder really's got a voodoo doll. He might. I don't know. Who knows what Jay Crowder's up to outside of warming up in empty gyms for no fucking reason. But I think at this point, right now, I would be shocked if James Jones didn't at least give Jay Crowder a call and say, "Hey, are you sure?" Because right now, you need something. You need somebody else to come into that room because the Suns are desperate right now. They are.
James Jones it seems like the guy that the second you cross him like Jay Crowder did, you're dead to me. I'll do right by you because that's how I keep my reputation around this league, but you're dead to me. That's the way I feel like James Jones approaches this. And, maybe if Jay didn't publicly do all that crap on social media and all that, and, maybe you'd be able to do it just to be like, hey, come play for a couple weeks, fill our need, showcase yourself, and then we'll make a move. But I think that is dead on arrival. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out, but I wouldn't put my money on Jay playing for the Suns again this season. That's just how I kind of feel about it. Okay, also Psycho Blue told me it's the Haitian saint of voodoo, so thank you for that. I appreciate the info there. We do have a game tonight, regardless of what's going on with Cam Johnson against the Blazers again, and this is going to be an interesting game because I'm sure the Suns are a little bit angry after last night's loss, and especially so because the NBA came out and said basically like, hey, my bad, we got it wrong, like completely wrong. So Gerald gave us an update on his Twitter today and said the NBA's L2M report from last night confirms Keon Johnson should have been called for defense 3 seconds on the Suns' last play. Mikal Bridges did not travel, and Jeremy Grant did travel on his game winner. So,
I
really,
mean, if it weren't just for the Jeremy Grant one, in addition to that, they found 2 other things that were completely effed up in the last 10 seconds of that game. Holy shit. You wonder why Suns fans are so jaded. You wonder why Suns fans do not trust the NBA. It's because of stupid shit like this. This was an easy call. Easy call. Anybody could make this, especially like the elementary or junior high level. But you have NBA officials that completely missed a 4-step Michael Jackson fucking moonwalk to cost the Suns a game. That's just so atrocious, and it's just so on brand for what the Suns have gone through in the course of their history.
Few things. Last 2-minute report is so dumb. I tweeted this, but it's like finding out the person you had a crush on in high school had a crush on you in high school 20 years later after you're both married, and it doesn't mean shit. Like, I don't care. And the fact that they could go and review.
Do you have something you want to reveal?
No, I married the high school crush I had. So it's for you, for the other poor saps that have to go through that. But look, the other thing that frustrates me is they went to the review, right, of that play, but the only thing they could review was whether or not the ball left his hands before the buzzer went off. And they couldn't review, did he travel? That pisses me off because they looked at that tape and they went, we screwed the pooch on this. We know he traveled. We know it's going to be in that last 2-minute report, and we can't do shit about it here.
But the problem with that part was, for me, was like, it's okay, cool. Maybe you didn't acknowledge the travel. Maybe you didn't acknowledge all the other freaking mishaps that had happened during the game. But you could have looked at the clock and realized that by the time Jeremy Grant actually touched the ball, the clock didn't start. Like they could review that. And they
can
didn't.
they?
Yes, they can.
I don't know that they can review the clock starting. I know they can review it stop. The whole thing was messed up. The whole thing was messed up. Why give me the charade of a review if you can't fix an actual call? It's pointless. In New York, they should have been able to call down and go, you guys screwed that up. It's a travel. We're calling it. You're going to overtime.
I mean, I would prefer that. The only reason why I do appreciate this info from the NBA is to maybe, I don't know that I might be trying too hard here, but essentially it's just supposed to be like a checks and balances, and at least we are aware that the NBA is aware of it, and it can potentially change like who gets to officiate come playoffs and which games they're assigned to and bonuses and whether or not they keep their job or if they need to do anything in the offseason. I don't know. That's like the one maybe like reach that I guess you could get out of this. Or also at least you know that your frustration is justified, that you're not wrong.
Look, it's like rain on your wedding day. It's like a free ride when you're already late. Isn't it ironic that the freaking NBA tells you after the fact that they got the call wrong? I don't care.
God, this guy.
I
Did you just
don't
Alanis
care.
Morissette us right now?
I did.
Oh my God.
See, Brittany gets it. I don't think it'll change anything, but at least it's personal validation. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Personal validation and $10 will get you verification on Twitter. Congratulations. Like,
Heyo. All right. So outside of Cam Johnson, we do have quite a few injuries for both teams tonight. So, of course, Cam is out. Cam Payne's still out as well with that left foot soreness. Ish Wainwright is still away from the team for personal reasons. Dwayne Washington Jr., who was originally out for personal reasons, aka he became a dad last night, showed back up. He's available to play tonight. Will we see him? I don't know. Maybe, but at least he's available. Another body for this team could potentially come in handy. And then on the Trailblazers side, pretty much everyone that you saw last night still out. The big ones, of course, Damian Lillard, Gary Payton II, Anfernee Simons. So, yeah, lots of injuries on this graphic right here. Not great, Bob.
Seeing how we lost to him last night doesn't even matter. We just got to beat them tonight. The Suns are a better team right now, even without Cam Johnson. They're going without Damian Lillard. It doesn't matter. That's why I have the Suns in my DraftKings pick of the night, winning by at least 12.
By at least 12? I thought you picked them at 10. Emma, let's put up our graphics of who we picked to win tonight's game and by how much.
So I've been on a scooter all day.
You're adding 2 points, Saul?
I'm adding 2 points.
You said I started at 10 today, and I got the news of Cam Johnson. I'm up it up.
Every mile that I drove on the scooter added a point. So, yes, minus 12. Let's go.
Okay. I got Suns by 4. Gerald has Suns by 4 as well. Espo, where you at?
Suns by 3. But it would not shock me if it's a 1-point buzzer beater because we've seen some weird things between these two teams in the first 2 games. So.
This is very true. What does Vegas think? What do our friends over at DraftKings out in Vegas think about tonight's game?
I'm sorry, but I don't particularly care because they thought the same thing last night. We saw how that went. But they think it's an 11-point a favorite for the Suns here. They think the Suns will win by double digits over the Trailblazers tonight.
I will say I do appreciate that even though the Suns lost both of their first 2 games against the Blazers, the line really hasn't moved that much. What was it, like 13.5 last night or something like that? So it's not too drastic of a change. Obviously, everyone knows the same as us is that the Suns should win by double digits. All 3 of these games they should have won.
Jeremy Grant was like Kobe last night. There's no fucking way he's repeating that performance. He's not that good of a player. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm not worried about what the Blazers do. I'm worried about the Suns tonight. I mean, it's deflating to lose a guy like Cam, that's one of your energy guys. I mean, it sounds dumb, but how does it affect McHale? I mean, that's his guy that hypes him.
Devin was off last night. He was off last night. And Jeremy Grant was Kobe. I think those 2 scripts flip around and the Suns win by a mile tonight.
I'm here for it.
I hope so because it's Saturday night and I don't need my heart to almost stop for a second straight evening. I'd prefer it not to if that's the case.
Don't worry.
That's not because of the game. That's because of the pastrami sandwich you ate before the game.
Well, that pastrami sandwich had mozzarella sticks in it too. So that's probably more what it was. But
don't worry, Espo. I got something for you here in just a little bit. But before I tell you about that, what are you guys betting on the DraftKings Sportsbook app tonight? I I'm taking the over on Mikal Bridges threes. It's set at 1.5, and it's a plus 135 because somebody's got to shoot the dang ball, and why not Mikal?
I have crushing disappointment at a minus 1,500, I believe, this evening. No, I'm going to take Ayton over 0.5 threes in this game at plus 300. Somebody's got to shoot him in this lineup, and I guess it's going to have to be DA. He hit 2 last night. Why not get another one tonight? So
Book is going to come out. He's going to play with his hair on fire. He's going to hit the first 3 of the game. Or his first points of the game, and then he's going to have 35 plus. I'm expecting a huge night from Devin Booker. I feel like he knows he probably let one go yesterday. He's not going to repeat that performance.
And then Gerald has Blazers fans try to troll Suns fans unsuccessfully at a minus 36,000. Yeah, we did get quite a few Blazers fans in our mentions and in our chat last night, and rightfully so. You can have your moment. That's totally fine. But I don't think it gets under our skin as much as maybe other fan bases do.
Can we talk about one thing from last night, though? Did you guys see the Blazers celebrate after the game with their sideline reporter? What the hell? I mean, it had everything but a trophy and champagne. You would have thought that they won the damn title last night. If the Suns went out there and looked like jackasses like that after a win, all national media would be like, oh, the Phoenix Suns are out of control. How dare they do that? I mean, they had 2 guys dance before the game last season and everybody lost their goddamn mind. But the Blazers freaking partied up behind Jeremy Grant and their sideline reporter after the game, and nobody says boo to it.
I call BS a little bit there, Espo. I've seen plenty of teams hit buzzer beaters, and they go fucking crazy. Like, a buzzer beater is just a different breed of a win. Like, it doesn't happen very often. It maybe happens once a season for a team. So when that happens, I've seen other teams like go crazy. I remember Magic Johnson talking about when Kareem hit a game winner, he celebrated, and Kareem even said, quote unquote, you're acting like we just won the NBA championship. This is game number 1.
I'm fine with in the moment celebrating he hit it, but this was well after it. This was after the shot, after the review.
No.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's after the shot, after the review, but once the review is over, then everything's official. Then you start celebrating.
Yes,
and the sideline reporter, her name's Brooke. She's a queen, by the way. Brooke goes right up to whoever she wants. She's on the baseline waiting for that player. So this was like all within the span of 30 seconds.
Let me make this very clear. No, that's no shade on the sideline reporter.
Oh, I know. I'm just giving her some
Brooke, great work out there. You got the shot everybody wanted to see.
Total shade for the sideline reporter. I know Espo. He hates her.
I've only had problem with one sideline reporter, and now I work with her, so we're all right.
True. See how I set him up?
Hey,
liar. Anyway, I get what you're saying, but I also think that, like, I think we just need to let people celebrate, even if it's a small win, right? The Blazers aren't projected to do anything crazy outstanding this year. Let them have that. The same way that people needed to let us have the 70-point book game. Just let us have whatever it is that we're able to actually grasp onto in trying times, okay? Just let us have it. I'm not mad at it.
So when Book hits the game winner tonight, I want to see twerking. I want to see the worm from DeAndre Ayton. I want to see Monty moonwalking. Give me everything, then.
It's kind of funny how the first thing you said was twerking. You want to see these dudes twerk for you there?
You've seen that where they act like they got hurt, and then they're, look at that. I was hoping Cam was going to do that last night. I was hoping it was a whole ruse.
Okay, confirmed. Espo wants Booker to twerk for him.
Hey,
all right,
what?
Cool.
Hey, whatever. Get them headlines.
Okay, the game is about to start. So the last thing I have for you guys is we posted this on our Twitter account at PHNX_Suns before last night's game. It's still there if you want to play. It's our PHNX Suns bingo drinking game. And this is great news because if you just take a big swig for all of the free boxes that you get for all the injuries and the players who are out, you'll start with basically like 6 big, I'm talking big drinks, okay? Not little sips. 6 big swigs before the game even starts. You'll be feeling real good. You'll be feeling real great. And then you can play along for the rest of the game. and meet us back here right after it wraps up.
Yeah, I counted. There's 5 that you just get a chug for. So enjoy.
Have fun. And again, thank you guys for joining us for the pregame show. And don't forget to meet us back here after the game wraps up. Okay, bye.